It is officially the 1st of April, and that means that the Aurelium spring semester has officially started. And along with that, so has the Battle of the Bands. My goal for this week is to get through at least 2 books on my TBR for this month, and I'm going to be starting off with The Wolf and His King by Finn Longman. So, come along with me as I start reading. Okay, so that was all that I was able to film yesterday. April 1st was an unexpectedly busy day for me. So while that was all I was able to film, I was able to start reading The Wolf and His King by Finn Longman. And I'm not too far into it yet. I'm only on page 39. But so far, it is a very interesting book, in my opinion. It's written in a format that I've never really seen before. There's 3 different POVs in here. There's the main character, Bisclavret, and there's his king, who he's loyal to. And the king's POV is written in second person. Like, we, the reader, are the king. And it's very interesting. And then there's a third POV, because the premise of this book is that Bisclavret is a secret werewolf, and he's trying to hide that in order to not get hunted down by the court and everything. And so the third POV is that of him in wolf form. And that is written in a kind of poetry style. And it's interesting. I'm enjoying the different style differences so far. But one thing that I think might throw me off later is, so far, Bisclavret is the only named character. Everyone else is referred to by, like, their relation to him or their role in court. And I don't know if that's going to work for me throughout the entirety of the book, but so far it has me just really intrigued. So I'm going to be doing some more reading of that, and y'all are going to come along with me. Hello, it is almost time for me to go to bed, but I have just finished The Wolf and His King by Finn Longman, and I'm giving this book a solid 3.75 stars. This book is written so beautifully. It has really strong lyrical prose and storytelling, especially with the struggle and conflict between Bisclaret and his wolf. But just the way that what really brings the rating down for this book for me is the fact that throughout the entire thing, Bisclaret is the only named character, and that kind of prevented me from being able to get attached to some of the other major characters. And also, because of the lyrical writing style, there wasn't very many scenes or how to put it, emphasis on direct interactions between the characters. It was kind of more of the characters' thoughts about each other and how they saw each other, but there wasn't that on the page direct interactions to help build the relationship and help deepen that relationship for the reader to see rather than just be told. And that didn't really do it for me. So it brought my rating down. But this was a really fantastic book, and I would recommend it, especially if you're wanting to try something a little bit more experimental. I definitely think that this is a book for people who like to explore different kinds of writings and literary technique for storytelling. And then I'm not going to begin reading it tonight because it's late and I need to be going to bed, but tomorrow I'm going to begin reading This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone. So, I'll catch you tomorrow. Alright, I'm here to give you guys a quick update on my progress. I'm not very far into This Is How You Lose the Time War, only 6%, but I am very pleasantly surprised about the fact that this book is sapphic. I was not expecting that at all, so it was a good shock. Here's some footage of me realizing that it is sapphic.
Every time I don't have to pick up my wallet. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Are all my ladies on their lunch yet?
that this is sapphic. So, yeah. I will catch you guys at my next update. Alright, I am back. It is now Saturday evening, and I have finished reading This Is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone. I am gonna give this book 3.75 stars. It's not quite a 4-star, but it is pretty high up there. The relationship between Red and Blue, our main characters, was really emotionally impactful. I loved seeing their relationship develop from antagonism into a friendship and then into their romance. And some of their letters did really deeply devastate me emotionally, especially Red's letters. But I felt like there was some world building and details left out that left me feeling confused, and I almost feel like would have added to the story more if they were there. Like, I have no idea why there is a time war. I have no idea what the Commandant and the Garden are fighting over ideologically. I have a vague idea, but I don't know the specifics, and I don't like not knowing the specifics. And I feel like knowing the specifics would have only added to Red and Blue's story more as we see them come together as individuals and kind of break from their military mindsets under the Commandant and under the Garden. So it just wasn't executed to the best of its abilities, I don't think. And so because of that, its rating got brought down to the 3.75. But overall, I did really enjoy it. I don't think I'm gonna have very much time for reading the rest of this week because I've got some work I need to get done the rest of tonight. If I have time, I'll do some reading, but I don't think I really will. Then tomorrow, I'm gonna go see the Outsiders musical with my mom. So that'll take up most of my day. And then I also have a whole host of tests that I need to be studying for and locking in for this week, especially Monday through Wednesday. So I feel like that's gonna take up the majority of the rest of the week that this reading vlog is going to be covering. But I do think I could maybe squeeze in the time for definitely an audiobook, and I can at the very least start another physical book. So I think the audiobook that I'm gonna try to squeeze in is Reforged by Seth Haddon. I can really easily get that from Hoopla. And then the next physical read that I'm gonna try and start, definitely don't think I'll finish it during this vlog, but I can at the very least start it, is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monika Kim. This is about a young Korean woman who we watch kind of her psychological devolvement into being a serial killer, and I also believe a cannibal. So it's definitely a psychological thriller, and that is not something that I've really read before. I've read horror before, but mostly supernatural horror and a couple of like murderers horror, obviously, but I've never really read a thriller. So I'm interested to really like see and start to understand what the difference is between a thriller and a horror, because my understanding of the difference between the two genres is thrillers are more about like the emotions that you can make people feel, or like it's like the suspense, whereas horror is the action that happens. I may be incredibly off base. Feel free to correct my understanding of the difference between thriller and horror. But that is my understanding so far, and I'm interested to try and actually read a thriller for the first time. So I will attempt to start this, but if I don't, at the very least, I will do my best to listen to Reforged by Seth Haddon and fit that into this vlog as well. Yeah, I will catch you guys when I have another update. It is now Monday evening, and I have just finished listening to the audiobook for Reforged by Seth Haddon. This book wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to be. I thought, based purely off of the cover, that it was going to be a cozy fantasy. That was with maybe a little bit of politics. That was my impression. But no, I got a full-blown political rebellion. And honestly, I was here for it. I had a really great time with this book. I think I would have liked to have a little bit more backstory about Balin and Xavrius's relationship before the book started, because this is a second chance romance. So I would have liked a little bit more detail about what transpired between the two of them before the book, but I have found out that there is a prequel about their relationship before the start of this book. So I'm gonna be checking that out at some point. Not this month, because I have so many other books to read this month, but some other time this month. That, I think, is the last book I'm gonna be able to read this week. This week as in the Wednesday that I started this video on to the Wednesday that I'm going to start my next vlog on. So I don't think I'm going to be able to finish a book tomorrow. But I am going to start reading The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monika Kim. And I don't think I'm going to give you an update on it this vlog. I think that's how I will open my next one. But yep, that's my reading for the week. I got 3 books finished, which I'm pretty happy about. And I'm hoping that that's the pace that I can keep up with for these 2 month-long readathons that I'm in, the Battle of the Band and the Magical Readathon. And then I'm also planning to next weekend participate in the just recently announced 48-hour readathon page-a-thon. I think that'll be a really fun time because it's run by the same people who were kind of in charge of Realmathon last month. And I don't know, I think it'll be a fun time and it'll be a way to get me to read more books. So, yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave this vlog off for the week, and I will catch you guys next week.